Picture this. You've just worked a 10-hour shift. Your back is tight, your brain is fogged, and all you want is 5 quiet minutes where no one needs anything from you. But the moment you walk through the door, you don't enter a home, you enter a battlefield disguised as a living room. The sink is overflowing, the laundry is untouched, dinner isn't started, and there she is, your wife, curled on the couch, scrolling, not even looking up until she needs something. "Oh good, you're back. I couldn't find the pasta sauce. Can you handle dinner? You're just better at it." And in that moment, something inside you sinks. It's the same heaviness you've felt 100 times, that knot in your chest that whispers, "This isn't partnership. This is servitude." But here's the part you've never said out loud. You know she's not helpless. She's conditioning you. This isn't forgetfulness. It's not chaos. It's a tactic, and today, we're going to expose it. Most men think the problem is the mess, the dishes, the laundry, the endless tasks that somehow end up in their hands. But the real problem isn't the chores, it's the pattern behind them. Because if you look closely, the chaos in your home isn't random, it's predictable. It follows a script. You step up, she steps back. You take responsibility, she relinquishes it. You fix the issue, she learns she never has to. And slowly, without noticing, you become the one who remembers everything, manages everything, carries everything. Not because she can't, but because you've been trained to. This is the classic dynamic psychologists call over-functioning versus under-functioning, a loop where one partner quietly becomes the adult, and the other conveniently becomes the dependent. And here's the truth that finally makes the whole picture click. You're not drowning because life is heavy. You're drowning because you're carrying both of you. Weaponized incompetence isn't someone being clueless. It's someone pretending to be clueless because the performance benefits them. At its core, it's a strategic behavior. If I act like I can't do this, you'll do it for me, every time. It's not a lack of skill, it's a refusal of responsibility. A calculated move that shifts the burden onto the partner who cares more, tries harder, and hates watching things fall apart. And here's why narcissistic wives rely on it so heavily. First, it protects them from accountability. If they claim they're bad at budgeting, terrible at housework, or confused by bills, then nothing is ever their fault. Second, it reinforces a hierarchy. You become the functional adult, the fixer, the planner, the dependable one, while she positions herself above the mundane tasks of life. Less effort for her, more labor for you. Third, it feeds her narcissistic supply. Your constant stepping in becomes proof that she is special, exempt, delicate, or too overwhelmed to be questioned. And perhaps the most dangerous part, this tactic works beautifully on good men. Because good men step up, and narcissists know that. They build entire relationships around it. A narcissistic wife is never actually helpless. She is selectively helpless, and that distinction explains everything. Because underneath the surface level "I can't" is a psychological engine built on 5 powerful motives. First, entitlement. She genuinely believes certain tasks are beneath her. Chores, planning, logistics, these feel like things the less important person should handle. And in her mind, that person is you. Second, fear of accountability. If she learns the task, she becomes responsible for the outcome. Failure would expose her inadequacy, something a narcissist cannot emotionally tolerate. So incompetence becomes a shield. Third, shame avoidance. Narcissists carry a deep, hidden shame core. Anything that risks criticism feels dangerous. Pretending to be incapable protects that fragile internal world. Fourth, control. When you handle everything, she controls the flow of the relationship without lifting a finger. Your time revolves around her needs, her crises, her comfort. Your life shrinks while hers expands. Fifth, narcissistic supply. Every time you step in, cook, fix, plan, Save the day she receives confirmation that she deserves special treatment. Your competence becomes proof of her superiority. Put these together, and you get the truth. She's not acting helpless because she lacks ability. She's acting helpless because the role benefits her. It maintains power, avoids responsibility, and keeps you locked in a dynamic where you work and she receives. Weaponized incompetence isn't just inconvenient. It's engineered intentionally or instinctively to wear you down. Because once a narcissistic wife convinces you that you handle things better, a predictable cycle begins. You take over one task, then another, then all of them. At first, you think you're helping. Then you realize you've become the project manager of your entire household, the cook, the cleaner, the organizer, the problem solver, the emotional buffer. And she simply opts out. This isn't an accident. It's a control system built on exhaustion. The more tasks you carry, the less bandwidth you have left. Less time for your friends, less energy for your hobbies, less clarity to question what's happening, less strength to push back. A tired man doesn't rebel. A tired man complies. And compliance is exactly what keeps the narcissistic dynamic alive. Here's the part many men never connect. When she avoids responsibility, she's not just dodging chores, she's monopolizing your resources, your time, your attention, your emotional energy, your identity. By the time you realize what's happening, you're not just overwhelmed, you're isolated, disconnected from yourself, and fully entrenched in a role you never agreed to play. That's the brilliance and the brutality of the system. She doesn't have to control you directly. She just has to exhaust you until you stop fighting for your own life. If you're wondering whether what you're experiencing is normal marriage stress or a narcissistic control pattern, these 5 signs will give you the clarity you've been avoiding. Sign 1. The botched effort training you to take over. She doesn't just forget things, she messes them up in a way that forces you to step in. Wrong groceries, half-done chores, bills accidentally skipped. This isn't incompetence, it's behavioral conditioning. Do it badly, you take over, she never has to do it again. Sign 2. Strategic praise flattery used as manipulation. Babe, you're so much better at cooking. You're amazing with money. I just get overwhelmed. It sounds flattering, but psychologically it's a task assignment disguised as admiration. A narcissist uses praise not to uplift you, but to offload responsibility. Sign 3. Darvo victimhood, turning your request into an attack. When you ask for help, she collapses emotionally. Why are you criticizing me? You know how stressed I am. Suddenly, you are the abuser, and she is the wounded one. This is classic Darvo deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. Sign 4. The I don't know how refusal learned helplessness with intent. In 2025, no one is unable to learn how to do basic adult tasks. YouTube exists. Google exists. What she's really saying is, I don't care enough to try because you will do it for me. Sign 5. Selective competence, the smoking gun. The clearest sign of all. She is highly capable in areas that serve her career, social plans, hobbies, but mysteriously useless in anything that serves the relationship. This discrepancy proves it's not inability. It's choice. These signs aren't quirks. They're a coordinated psychological pattern, one designed to keep you overfunctioning while she comfortably underfunctions. Here's the part almost no man admits out loud. Weaponized incompetence doesn't work on every man. It works on good men, the ones raised to be responsible, steady, dependable. Men who were taught, handle it. Don't complain. Be the rock. Be the adult even when others aren't. You weren't chosen by a narcissistic partner because you're weak. You were chosen because you're the kind of man who steps up when things fall apart. And she knew that. Many men who fall into this trap grew up in homes where they had to overfunction early, the peacemaker son, the fixer, the one who held the family together. So when your wife drops the ball, your nervous system kicks into autopilot. I'll take care of it. I always do. Narcissistic partners sense this instinct like radar. They exploit your reliability, your empathy, your desire to keep the peace. Not by asking directly, but by withdrawing responsibility until you pick it up. But here's the truth that frees you. Your strength was never the problem. Your silence was. Because the moment you stop carrying both halves of the relationship, the entire illusion of her helplessness begins to crumble. When a man becomes the only functioning adult in a marriage, something fundamental begins to break, not just in the relationship, but inside him. At first, you think you're helping, but over time, the dynamic shifts from partnership to parent-child, and nothing kills attraction faster than that. You stop seeing her as a teammate. She stops seeing you as a man with needs, limits, and a life of your own. Respect quietly evaporates. Intimacy collapses. The polarity that once pulled you together turns into resentment that pushes you apart. Because you can't desire someone you're constantly cleaning up after. And she can't respect someone she depends on but never appreciates. Even worse, this dynamic erodes your identity. You lose the parts of yourself that once made you feel alive, your energy, your confidence, your sense of direction. You trade them for a never-ending list of tasks that were never supposed to be yours alone. And if you have children, they grow up learning a dangerous lesson. Love means service, and responsibility belongs to the person who cares the most. That's the real cost. It's not just exhaustion. It's the slow, quiet unraveling of everything a relationship needs to survive. Breaking this pattern doesn't start with changing her. It starts with changing your responses, the places where you overfunction, where you rush in, where you save her from the consequences of her own choices. The first step is simple, but not easy. Stop rescuing. When she forgets the groceries, don't sprint back to the store. When she doesn't know how to pay a bill, don't grab the laptop. Let the moment land. Let the discomfort sit where it belongs. The second step is boundaries clear, calm, neutral. Not angry, not emotional, just firm. Use scripts like, "I trust you to handle it. That's your responsibility. You can look it up. I'm not taking that on." Then walk away. No arguing, no over-explaining. A narcissistic partner wants your emotional reaction, don't give it to her. The third step is somatic control. Slow breath, relaxed shoulders, even tone. Your calm is your leverage. It disconnects the emotional hook she relies on to pull you back into overfunctioning. Will she get angry? Yes. Will she play the victim? Probably. But that reaction is proof the system is breaking. Because the moment you stop saving her, she finally has to face the responsibilities you've been carrying alone. There comes a moment in every man's healing where the fog finally lifts, where you look at the life you've been living, the responsibilities, the exhaustion, the quiet resentment, and you realize something powerful. You were never the problem. You were simply carrying more than any one person was meant to carry. And the moment you set those burdens down calmly, firmly, without apology, you begin to reclaim the pieces of yourself you thought were gone forever. Your time, your clarity, your self-respect, your sense of being a man in your own life again. Healing doesn't start when she changes. It starts when you stop abandoning yourself. So if this video made something click, if it finally put words to a reality you've lived for years, you're not alone. Share your story in the comments below, and hit subscribe for more content that helps good men take their power back.